Hey, Austin here with Tour Collierville, and for today's 2 Minute Tuesday, I'm sitting here with Josh Jacobs, and Josh is the first student body president at the new Collierville High School. So, Josh, welcome.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for coming.
No
Thanks for
problem.
coming. So, to start off, I guess, tell us what does a student body president do these days?
So my job is a lot less what people think about. So I'm the president of the Student Government Association organization at my school, and so the word government being in the name, people think that I get to go talk to our principal and tell him what rules I think our school should have.
Right.
Unfortunately, that's not quite the case. I do a lot of event planning at our school. So
Okay.
I run in a group of kids, students at the school, and our job is to do a bunch of things that boost morale of the students, give them that high school experience. So anything that's not academics or athletics, we do a lot of that. Pep rallies, we're in the middle of planning our Angel Tree program that we do every year.
Okay.
So we do our homecoming dance, things like that.
Yeah.
So we do a lot of event planning, different
Okay.
things that kind of just give the student body a chance to break away from the mundane academics of, the normal school day.
Yeah, gotcha. That's pretty cool. So it's good. You get to do the fun stuff, I guess.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. Cool.
It's a lot less, it's fun when we get there. Working on it, it is a difficult thing to do, and it's taught me a lot, but it is a really cool opportunity to have.
Yeah, gotcha. So you're kind of the one that kind of gets to corral all the ideas that everyone has and
Exactly,
actually make them a reality.
Right.
And yeah, that's pretty cool. Cool. Well, so being the first year at the new high
Right.
school, tell me how, in general, how is school life different at the new school as opposed to the old?
Well, there's a lot of things that are different. Some of them are small and some of them are pretty big. So for the first 3 years of my high school experience, about 1 in every 10 to 15 classrooms had a window. So I'd go into school at 7 in the morning, it'd be dark outside, and I'd come out at 2 and the sun would be up. And
Yeah.
lo and behold, the day had gone on. So just walking through a school building where I can see outside, I mean, we've got a beautiful courtyard right in the center of the school, grass, trees. So just the building obviously is amazing. It's like going to a small university.
It is. It
so
is.
that's beautiful in and of itself. And then also just, I guess, the new modern education that Collierville is beginning this year and pushing forward into the future where we have, I've got 3 folders in my backpacks and a laptop. And so all of my textbooks, all of my assignments, all of my grades are online. And so obviously, that's a funny story. I think it's funny.
Sure.
Middle school, I got into the habit of keeping my backpack unzipped because we didn't have lockers and all of the stuff in my backpack was too much for me to zip it. So into high school, I carried on that, habit, and people knew me who didn't know me, knew me as the guy with the backpack open. So I walked into school this year with my 1 laptop and 3 folders with my backpack zipped up because I could now.
You can zip it up.
Yeah, and people approached me and were like, "Hey man, like I don't know who you are, but isn't your backpack supposed to be open?" And so that's just a little change that's been brought on by this modern education that we're getting, and so that's really cool just to have that, the ability to have everything we need in one little square, and to kind of, I think it really does give us an edge as far as moving into college, the job market.
Absolutely.
Having familiarity with this technology. So that's probably one of the coolest things about it.
Yeah.
I love the cafeteria food now too.
Oh yeah, it's better food.
Always brought my lunch now. I'm buying every day.
Oh really?
It's good stuff.
What's your favorite thing?
Look, so I'm a classic kind of guy. So every day I get in line and watch them grill my cheeseburger and French fries and get chow down. It's good.
Yeah, we're on the same page.
Yeah.
That's pretty. Yeah,
Cheeseburger.
that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm a cheeseburger guy too. So the food's better than it was at the old school.
Like unbelievably, like just exponentially better. We've got like a chef. Like I watch my food get cooked in front of me. Like it's freshness and everything.
That's pretty cool.
It is.
That's pretty cool. That's something that I hadn't heard about the new school. You hear a
it's
lot,
great.
This
No,
state-of-the-art school, but
stuff gets lost. That's still
better
great.
cheeseburgers.
Yeah, exactly.
I wouldn't know. Yeah, that's cool. Well, so what's the biggest change? Would you say?
So I would say I'm going to answer this from two perspectives, as a student at Collierville High School, and then as the student government president, student body president. So for student government, we in the past have had a hour and a half lunch period because of the way the old schedule worked, where we could do our work. And now it's switched to a 45-minute period. And so as far as leading this group, it's an interesting transition because we went from having all this time where honestly we could kind of loaf around for half the time, so it's not really taking away a ton of work time, but it seems like this huge kind of change. And as far as, you know, working on stuff goes, it is an interesting, and I think it's a valuable lesson in kind of adapting as far as leadership goes. And I think to be able to take this group and show them how we can transition into this change and make it good still, I think it is a valuable opportunity that the new school has offered, and also just taking advantage of all the, you know, the gym that has 3,000 seats, so we can now fit our entire student body in one pep rally versus two. So from a leadership perspective in student government, it's a big change, and it is difficult at times, as change is sometimes. But it is a valuable lesson, I think, in adaptability, how to move forward and be able to change what you're doing in a way that's going to let you be successful in the future. So I take that as an honor and a valuable experience that I'm able to be the one that brings that first step into that change. And then as a student, I think it's really interesting, actually. The culture of our students have changed, I think, between last year and this year. It's interesting to walk around the schools, and I think there's this kind of just pervading sense of respect and appreciation for what we have, really. In my experience, it's difficult to get high school students to respect and appreciate things.
Sure. So everybody's kind of walking around with a little extra pep in their step now.
And it's really cool, and it's awesome to see. And 14, 15, 16, 17, 18-year-olds, watch them see what they have and turn back to the community and kind of have this eye outward to show that we appreciate it and even try and give back. Because I think, you know, obviously it is a community who gave us this opportunity. It's not just, you know, the superintendent or our principal, or it's not just the school board that does this. It's the town of Collierville. And so it's really amazing to see our students receiving that in a way that is so respectful and appreciative and grateful. And then, you know, come to school like with that attitude. They go to class with the attitude of, this is something that so many people don't have, even in the United States. You know, this isn't a first world versus third world thing. This is top class education versus the general public system throughout our country. So it's amazing to see kids appreciate that and try, and I think they're going to try and do something with it. And obviously we had a great education before. We've got a lot of the same great teachers, same staff, same faculty that were just as amazing and influential at the old school. But you know, I think this big new school is such a shock to people that it's kind of opening their eyes, and it really has changed the culture at our school. Well, that's really cool. That's really cool to hear, and I think that there's something to be said for, you know, just being in town and seeing, you know, the process of it all, you know, and how long it took and what it took to get it there, and then, you know, being able to move in, you know, to the new school and you know, have that contrast. I think, you know, it makes it easy for the students to be able to say, wow, you know, like, it really does.
This is a big change, and they did it for us, you know, so that's cool. Well, so, you know, obviously a lot of change, which is good, but, you know, change can also present some challenges. So maybe what are some negatives or challenges, maybe something that you think you wish was different with the new school?
Well, I think, again, this being the first year at a brand new school, with a brand new system, we're honestly changing so many things that, you know, to not expect some challenges is kind of ignorant. I think we should expect things to go wrong sometimes, and I think we should be okay with that. But, you know, I think this brand new expensive building, a lot of our Faculty and administration is understandably on edge about everything because, I think the school feels the eyes of the town of Collierville on them. And so I think everyone at the...
Kind of it's here now.
Exactly.
We expect you to do it. Right.
Exactly.
We expect you to do something with it. Yeah.
And so I think that being the case, everyone is trying to make sure that we are the image that is being expected from us.
Right.
And so, again, I'm kind of split up a little bit with SGA. That takes a form in a couple different things. So generally, we would have a first day of school pep rally at the beginning of each school year because people are coming off of summer, and generally, when you have to go back to school after a summer, you don't really feel like it.
Yeah, not too pumped.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So we would do a little morale booster right there at the beginning of the year,
Yeah.
get people excited to be back. And this year we were not able to do that for a couple of reasons. So the first being our gym wasn't ready at that point, which of course presents some problems, as that's where we hold the pep rallies. But then, just the scheduling at the new school, people trying to figure out class changes and things like that. We couldn't hold a pep rally until homecoming was our first pep rally. So that's about a month and a half into the school.
Yeah.
And that, that got a little frustrating because the student body and we were expecting to be able to hold these events to boost the morale because, school is school and people need to pick me up sometimes.
Right.
But there were so many new things happening. People weren't being able to get to class on time. People weren't able to find their lunches or their teachers, and there was so much stuff going on that we needed to just lay the foundation that we had to wait a little bit, and that was difficult because
can't present too much change
exactly
at one time, I guess.
But we did want this new school. Everyone was in such a rush to say, all right, let's take advantage of it, let's do it, and people kind of had to learn to take it slow, take a breather, and say, okay, let's lay the foundation a little bit. Let's get used to this for a second, and then then we can move forward. And so that was a little bit difficult to deal with. And of course, as the years go on, I think we will be able to do things like that more and more. But again, the new first year, things are going to happen like that.
Right. You'll be able to build on it as people, get used to it. Yeah.
And then as a student, just in the day, I really don't know if there's anything I see as negative as far as, the changes related. Obviously, I'm an 18-year-old kid. I don't love high school every day of the year. I wake up sometimes and I just really do not want to get out of my bed.
Sure.
And so, that's nothing new or different than any other high school has experienced.
Right. Or work. I hate to
exactly. I've been told it gets harder, which is slightly intimidating. But so, as far as the new school, we've got 45-minute lunches now, so we went from having 20 minutes to eat our lunch to 45. That's a positive, to have that. Everything's beautiful.
You get 2 cheeseburgers, maybe.
Yeah, exactly. Go through, sit down a little bit, let it digest, and go right on back.
Yeah, you gotta get that fuel.
Yeah, exactly.
That's cool.
So I really don't know generally if anything is negative because of the change. And again, from the leadership student body perspective, planning these events, that is a little bit more behind the scenes. The student body doesn't see a lot of that.
Right.
They do miss it when stuff is not happening when they expect it to. And so, that stuff is expected to happen though, because as this group of students that are supposed to plan these events, we do have to work a lot more closely with administration and our faculty to work with scheduling things, because throwing an hour pep rally in the middle of the day does mess up school and stuff like that. Right. And so working more closely with the people who are kind of planning these logistical things, we expected a little bit of rough patches at the beginning, and I don't think that's a huge deal. So.
Yeah. Do you enjoy kind of working behind the scenes like that? Obviously when you're working behind the scenes like that, then people don't always notice things when they're going really well, but then when something messes up, then they notice. So how do you kind of deal with that?
So I remember one time last year when it was the middle of homecoming week, and for student government, homecoming week is just about the busiest week of the year. That's pretty much our peak season right there.
Which this year, homecoming was like first home game at the new stadium.
It was
so there was just
exciting.
a lot packed into one.
Yeah, every year homecoming is such a big event. And I was sitting in class, and somebody said to me, just during the course of a conversation, "So what does SGA even do?"
So you were a member of SGA last year?
Yes, sir.
Just a different position? Or?
I was, yes, sir. So last year I was the director of government affairs, which actually did a lot of the logistical backroom stuff. So
right.
That was my position last year. But to hear that in the middle of homecoming week, I was like, "Are you kidding me? Like this is the busiest I've been. Like I'm gonna go home and like spend the next 3 or 4 hours on stuff."
Right.
And so, it is difficult sometimes to hear that. But one of the first things I learned being in student government is that A, you're not going to please everybody.
Sure.
And B, you're not going to even come across people's field of vision or their thoughts. It's stuff just is what it is. Pep rallies are what they are to some people, and there's nothing you can do about that.
Sure.
So I think as far as that goes, I just try and have a lot of patience. With the student government and the student body as a whole.
Yeah.
Because, I've been a part of this obviously for several years now, and so I understand when, things don't go exactly as planned, or when this happens and people don't like it or whatever. And so I get that, and I actually was not in SGA all 4 years of my high school experience, so I know what it's like as well to just be a student outside looking in and to not like some things that SGA is doing. And so I completely understand, and I don't think that criticism is necessarily bad. I think it's our job to listen to the students. And so if they don't like something, that's helpful for us because we won't do it again. We will try and do something that they would like instead. And so I would rather hear that criticism than not.
But how many, do you know like a rough number of the student body in the high school?
Yeah, it's about 2,750, I think, is around.
That's a lot of opinions.
It's a lot. We have 36 kids in SGA, and it's hard to get everybody to agree in that small group. So out of 2,750, we do what we can, and there are some things that are just kind of tradition at this point. But of course, as the student body president, I get all the flack for everything. So
I'm sure.
My buddies, I'll go into class and they'll be like, "That sucked," and it's like, well, sorry about that.
Right. Well, do better next time.
Yeah, exactly.
So there's always another pep rally, right?
Yeah, exactly. So I get all the flack from everybody for stuff, but it's just
somebody's got to take the flack.
Exactly. Right? I'm just man of the people. I'll listen to the students. Yeah. So
cool. Well, I guess moving forward a little bit. Are y'all starting to plan for graduation, and do y'all maybe have anything special planned for the first graduating class?
Well, okay, so as far as graduation goes, the last thing I heard that was going to be kind of new, which this isn't set in stone. Okay, I don't even know if this is on the record or whatever. But I heard from good authority that there was a possibility we would have our graduation in the new stadium, as opposed to Bellevue Church where we've had it in the past. Again, that's not official or anything like that, but that is what I heard, and I think to have that kind of solidify this first year, so start it here, end it here, and say
I'm sure that would be, if y'all are able to pull that off, I'm sure that would be a very popular decision. I mean, you're in Collierville,
Exactly.
You want to graduate in Collierville, and you've got this, beautiful new campus.
Exactly. So as a student body president, I have to give a speech. I get to give a speech at graduation, just that, last little pep talk before we go out into the world and decide what we want to do with our lives as high schoolers. And I had a dream about the speech the other night. I haven't started working on it. I had a dream about the speech the other night, and I told a joke, and to this crowd of 650 kids, seniors, and their families, I told this joke and got no response whatsoever. It was completely silent, and I woke up from my dream in a cold sweat, and so that was interesting. Hopefully it'll turn out better than that, but I think it will, but
I'm sure it will.
I hope so.
And you
I
got
hope
plenty. You
somebody
got plenty of
laughs.
time.
Yeah,
And,
I'll come up with better jokes. Yeah, so.
Oh, someone will always laugh. There'll always be
Exactly.
at
Someone's
least
gonna
one.
feel bad
Right.
at least. Yeah.
So-
You'd hope someone has a little bit of compassion, but
You'll be fine. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
I will say I have seen a lot of students like the games and stuff. They throw this up. What is this?
This is the 2Cs.
Okay.
Our student section is called the Collierville Crazies. So you're enrolled at Collierville High School. You're a Collierville Crazy, and so this sign is just kind of this is Collierville. This is
How long y'all been doing that?
I mean, probably 7 years. 7 years. And so since before I got there, but yeah, it's kind of just tradition. Like you walk in and like I remember my first football game as a freshman. I was freaking out because there were all these shirtless senior dudes with like paint just screaming their heads off, and I was like, "Hey guys, I'm 14. Like I've never been to a high school football game before."
Right.
And so, like I remember walking in, I was freaking out, and then at some point during the game, like people started throwing this up, and I was like, all right, I guess I'll do it too because I'm 14 and peer pressure happens. So
Right.
I did it.
Right, and you weren't painted up.
Exactly.
You gotta do something,
exactly.
right?
So I just, it's kind of you just pick it up. It's part of that.
Cool.
Part of that. Collierville Crazy's tradition. It's we're the students. Here we are.
Yeah.
Beat the other team, whatever, wherever we do it. I mean, we do it at clubs, I might throw it up at graduation. We'll see,
Yeah, that's cool.
But yeah, so it's kind of just our symbol.
Well, that's cool. Collierville Crazy.
Collierville Crazies.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, I appreciate it, Josh.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yep. Thanks for playing hooky.
No problem. It's a pleasure.
Yeah. All right.